Have you ever dined with an animatronic elephant? Have you ever spent $92 on lukewarm crab legs that tasted like they were spit out from the back of Captain D's dumpster? Has a grown man ever put a condom-shaped hat on your 14-year-old cousin and called him a virgin? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you yourself may be a victim to tourist trap restaurants, aka themed restaurant chains in the United States. Today, I am ranking and giving my opinions on the chain restaurants that you only go to when you're on a family vacation. Joe's Crab Shack, Johnny Rockets, Dick's Last Resort, Planet Hollywood, Hard Rock Cafe, Fuddruckers, Fudpuckers, The Melting Pot, Margaritaville, Bubba Gum Shrimp Co. We've got it all today. These tourist trap restaurants are pretty much like if a theme park was ran by 3 chain-smoking raccoons and your uncle's ex-wife. Every major city is littered with them. They are loud, overpriced, and the food is usually extremely mid. But some of them reign supreme. So here are my top 10 touristy themed restaurants. Coming in at number 10, we have Dick's Last Resort. I personally hate this place because what the hell? I feel like they're just generally gross. The shtick being, you go to Dick's Last Resort, and it is your last resort. You go to be verbally berated. And I've seen pictures on Facebook of families that take their kids here, and one thing I want to say is almost every single time the staff is being inappropriate with minors. They're making jokes that are off color to people who are literally like 13. If I were a parent, I wouldn't want to take my toddler to a place where a sweaty server named Chadwick, who's like 40 years old, jokes about how she's gonna be a stripper in the future and pretends to dry heave onion rings onto my table. Like, no thanks, I'm good. Most every experience that I've had with this place is that you sit down and they put a condom-shaped paper bag on your head with something on it that says, "I eat farts for gas money," and then hand you chicken strips that looked like they were warmed up with a motel iron. I feel like the joke here is that they're trying to be edgy, but no. This is going at my 10 spot, okay? This is not only Dick's Last Resort, it is also my last resort. I'm not going there. Coming in at number 9, we have the gas station sushi of all restaurant chains, Joe's Crab Shack. Now, Joe's was that girl back in 2007. She had promise. She wore bootcut jeans and puka shell necklaces and was kind of slay, kind of serve. Whatever the kids are saying these days. But today, she's kind of like a bitter divorcee that smells like shellfish and betrayal. And I have personal beef with this one. I used to be a Joe's Crab Shack, like, stan, fan, whatever you want to say. I loved their food. I just feel like the past 4 or 5 times I've been there, it sucked. Let me paint you a picture. It's my honeymoon. It's the day before Thanksgiving in Galveston, Texas, and your cruise leaves on Thanksgiving Day. You're stuck in this port town and almost nothing is open, so you reluctantly go to Joe's Crab Shack. This is a personal story, if you can't tell. This literally happened to me. You and your new husband are excited and you're happy and you're hungry, so you go into Joe's Crab Shack, and the first thing they tell you is, "Order fast, we're closing in an hour." Girl, it is 4 p.m. Babe, your Google hours say you're open till 9. So they're like, "What do you want to eat?" And you're like, shrimp? And then after they tell you to order fast because they're closing in an hour, you wait an hour for your shrimp to come out. And when it comes out, it's cold. So you know they weren't warming up the kitchen, like starting up the grills and everything, and the fryers and stuff. Why was I even waiting an hour? Then, by the time you get your food, they're bussing all the tables, mopping the floors, they're ready to go. So we just kind of like pick around at our shrimp a little bit and then just leave, and we literally got McDonald's on the way home. It was the biggest waste of money ever. I don't like tip culture, but I always tip at least 20%, and sometimes if my server did a really good job, I give them like a gift and like I tip more than that. This was the one time in my life I did not tip. What do you mean I have 1 hour to sit down, order, and then you're gonna spend an hour getting my cold food out to me? Here's a tip. Update your Google hours. What am I doing here? If you didn't want me to sit down and eat, you should have just said, "Sorry guys, we're closing early today," and we would have left. It would have been chill. And this has been not a normal experience for me, but every single time I go to Joe's Crab Shack, the food is just completely mediocre. It's no longer good. I remember when it used to be. When I was a child, I remember that the mozzarella sticks they used to serve there, I don't think they even have those anymore, but the mozzarella sticks they used to serve there were bomb. Did a party clown come up to me one time at a Joe's Crab Shack with a balloon animal and scare the shit out of me, and I choked on the mozzarella stick? Yes, but it was still good. Okay, I remember the day when Joe's Crab Shack tasted decent. I feel like I'm going on a lot of tangents here. Coming in at number 8 is Johnny Rockets. It's like if an Arby's and a sock hop had a baby at a Walgreens. These little tiny 1950s diners-inspired restaurants are fine. They're usually on a corner or in a mall or designed to look like they're on a corner, so they kind of remind me of a Walgreens. They're just kind of awkwardly sitting in the middle of everything. The burgers are fine. The milkshakes are fine. The milkshakes are pretty good, but they're nothing special. It's literally just 3 different flavors of ice cream with milk and whipped cream. Like, there's no like specialty milkshakes really. But the forced nostalgia is almost unbearable. I do like the charm of it being 50s themed, and it would be cool with 50s music, but every 45 minutes, these employees are forced to do a little dance to Rockin' Robin, like clockwork. It kind of feels like you're in a weird restaurant from the game Fallout, to be honest. I feel like this restaurant was just based on the idea of, back in my day, we knew how to malt a shake. Okay, Grandpa. It has its charms. It's definitely not the worst. I always just feel guilty when I'm talking all of the staff, except for the people actively cooking. Everybody like comes out in like a flash mob to dance to a 1950s sock hop song, and it makes you feel guilty for them. It's almost like I feel like I have to tip them more because they're suffering. It's fun, it's fine, it's like Steak and Shake kind of, but mostly it's a guilt trip, and that's why I don't like going there. Number 7 is Planet Hollywood, movie props and broken dreams. Okay, I do love going to Planet Hollywood for all the movie memorabilia. These restaurants can be found all over. You get to look at all these different movie props while you eat, which is super cool. I went to the one in Orlando, and they had a costume of The Fly from the movie The Fly, which was really cool. They had Chucky from Child's Play. They had a bunch of different things. I think that the concept of this as a cinemaphile is incredible. But what I don't love is looking at movie memorabilia while I try to scarf down a dried out plate of nachos, because every time I've been here, the food sucks. I put this one at number 7 because I do feel like even though the food is terrible, every time I've been multiple times, and every time I've been, the food is terrible, awful, like dry, cold, bland. I feel like you have to go once. You should be able to suffer through microwavable grade food, especially if you like movies. You've got to go here at least once. Number 6 is Hard Rock Cafe. This is Planet Hollywood's darker, edgier, more cocained up cousin. I have never seen a place be more aggressively beige while blasting Bon Jovi at 10 a.m. I will say though, if you get a burger or drinks, there are some pretty good options. You can't really go wrong with a Hard Rock Cafe burger and fries. It's pretty decent. And I love rock and roll. I love hard rock. I love metal. I love alt rock. So the music that they play in here and the music videos that they play in here are really cool, and seeing pieces of music history is really cool. But I also feel like the theming just needs work. Something about it is just weird. It's called Hard Rock Cafe, and it looks like a country club inside. What's hard about it? I have a special place in my heart for the Hard Rock Cafe, even though the theming could use a little work, because it's almost like the divorced dad of these restaurants. It's really trying to be cool, and at one time it probably was, but now it just kind of lives in a studio apartment and doesn't really decorate. Number 5, we have the Melting Pot. Come for the cheese, stay for 3.5 hours because you're forced to. This one's right in the center for me. It's literally like if you cooked your own food at Applebee's, which does give you some creative control, I guess. And that atmosphere is kind of gas. You sit down in a dim booth, it's kind of sexy, and you're like melting fondue and cooking meat in a vat of broth, and you're like using little tongs to feed it to each other. It's kind of hot, right? Right? But it's kind of like bougie cosplay. Like, I could have achieved this meal with like a $40 Sam's Club gift card and completely realized halfway through that I definitely could have made all this at home. I kind of like it though, because it's just weird. It's one of those weird liminal spaces that I enjoy going. You go in and you sit down and it's kind of sexy. It's dim. There's sensual, maybe even a little bit nostalgic music playing, and you're sitting there and you're dipping strawberries into chocolate, and you're dipping little pretzel bites into cheese, and you're cooking your little pieces of meat in the broth, and you leave extremely bloated with the worst case of meat sweats I've ever had in my life. I feel like it's an even trade. Great vibes, good food, a lot of work, a lot of hassle. I just feel like it's an even trade-off. Number 4, we're doing a combined one. We are doing Fuddruckers and Fudpuckers, which sounds like a swear word. These are exclusive to Florida, I'm pretty sure. Fudpuckers is at least, and it's like the redneck version of Chuck E. Cheese. You go into this building that looks like a giant mansion made of a bunch of double-wide trailers smashed together. You order a 2.5-pound hamburger and then hold a baby alligator. Nothing screams Florida man more than that, okay? It's kind of authentic if you're going to Florida to have the Fudpuckers experience. Fuddruckers is its more tame cousin, and they have them more, I think, kind of all over the place. It's where you go if you want to, you know, eat a decent burger and watch reruns of MTV Cribs, feeling like you're in a LAN party sponsored by Monster Energy. It's just giving like feral frat boy. And I don't know, I kind of dig it. There's nothing really bad I can say. I've been to these restaurants multiple times and I've never had a bad meal there, so gotta put it at number 4. And if your restaurant chain sounds like a slur from a 1930s cartoon, then I guess you get points for audacity. Coming in at number 3, a restaurant based on a fictional restaurant from a movie. That's meta. Bubba Gum Shrimp Company. This is a Forrest Gump themed restaurant and they have mostly shrimp, but they also have some home-cooked style meals as well. It's all themed around the movie Forrest Gump, which I wonder if Tom Hanks gets royalties from Bubba Gum Shrimp Company from all of the trivia that they do at the table. The food here is extremely consistent, especially if you like seafood. There's nothing wrong with Bubba Gum Shrimp, and I stand by that. And the drinks are always pretty strong too, so shout out to them for that. It's touristy, goofy, and it definitely shouldn't exist, but it does. And also, it's another one of those places that feels like a liminal space. Some restaurants have like a little tiny mock-up of Forrest Gump's childhood home that you go inside and sit at, and then eat shrimp from the Bubba Gum Shrimp Company. That's kind of crazy, kind of love it. Can you see the bird? Can you see the bird on my head? Coming in at number 2, we have Margaritaville. Me personally, I am a pretty big fan of Margaritaville. Real talk, I'm a little biased on this one because I am a huge Jimmy Buffett fan. Actually, Jimmy Buffett, I have both of them. I'm just showing you one though. Jimmy Buffett gave me this shoe off his foot. It's not my size. You can tell. That's a man's shoe. Kind of going on a tangent here, I went to a Jimmy Buffett concert and he literally came out in these when the Margaritaville Croc collab happened, and he called me, I was in the front row, and he called me up like to the front of the stage, to the barrier, and tossed me these shoes. Also, some idiot punched me in the side trying to get them from me, when he specifically pointed to me. Like, what? Why would you ruin the moment like that? Because I didn't even get to thank him. My idol, rest in peace, Mr. William Buffet, I didn't even get to thank him because some guy punched me in the side and had to be taken out by security trying to get this. So he's always going to live in my heart, but every time I go to Margaritaville, I'm just happy. You can't harsh my vibe at Margaritaville, as that one TikTok creator made a song say. From the giant blenders to the giant flip-flops, this place just has immaculate vibes, and I really feel like Jimmy Buffett's philosophy is something that everybody needs to take on in their life. You get like unlimited margaritas. A server named Becky brings you what's called the Volcano nacho platter, which Volcano is an excellent song by Jimmy Buffett, by the way. You order a literal cheeseburger in paradise for your entree. You can't top it. You can't beat it. It's like, when you go there, it's always 5 o'clock. You're always on the beach. Sometimes the food is a little hit or miss, but the atmosphere always makes me happy. In other news, coming in at number 2 is Margaritaville, and I will be buried in these. Alright, this one's controversial, but it's my number 1, and it's the one I've been to the most. When I genuinely say that I have never had a bad meal from Rainforest Cafe, I haven't. This is like your little hit of dopamine as a Disney adult when you can't go to the parks. You can go to a Rainforest Cafe in a city near you. Something about my messed up little brain just loves animatronics. I love animatronics. I love the animatronic alligator outside. I love the water features. I love the aquariums. I love the animatronic elephants. I love the rainstorm. I love a themed restaurant, and not many chains do theming like Rainforest Cafe. Now, in case you can't tell, this whole theme here that we've been doing in this video is one of my special interests interests. So I actually know that Rainforest Cafe is owned by a company called Landry. They have many themed restaurants, but Rainforest Cafe is really only the one of them that is a chain. They're also responsible for some of my other favorite themed restaurants of all time that just aren't chains. They own the Aquarium Restaurant in Nashville, Tennessee. They own Yak and Yeti at Walt Disney World, Orlando, and they own T-Rex in Disney Springs. All are incredible, amazing themed restaurants that I have never had a bad meal at. Across all of Landry, the restaurants are awesome. I feel like if you've had a bad meal at Rainforest Cafe, you just need to go again because it was probably a fluke. Yes, the chicken strips are chicken strips, but they have some actually decent menu items and a huge array of items that you can order. If you're in a bad mood at a Rainforest Cafe, just take a break. Just take a break and order the volcano fudge thing that comes out with a sparkler in it. And then automatically all your problems will be gone. Order a cha-cha red slushy with the little cha-cha frog on the top, okay? You're not gonna be sad anymore. To me, the only cons with Rainforest Cafe is that sometimes they're dusty and sometimes they're expensive. Go into your local Rainforest Cafe, sit down, and split that house sampler. It's got chicken strips, it's got little wings and things. It's a pretty good value and 2 people can absolutely share it. And if you go to the one in Galveston, Texas, do yourself a favor and go ahead and ride that water ride. That's right. The one in Galveston, Texas has a water ride attraction inside. Is it state of the art? No. Is it a head trip? Yes. So there you have it, my definitive ranking of the best tourist trap themed restaurants. My name is Melody. If you liked this video, I hope you don't have some kind of head trauma. But seriously, if you've made it until this far, it really means a lot to me, and I would really appreciate a comment to show that you've made it until this far. I'm trying to see who all is watching my videos, who's interested in what I can improve on. If you didn't like this video, also leave a comment. I am immune to humiliation. Again, this channel's called Melody Ever After. I do lots of deep dives, commentary, ranking videos on pop culture, and pretty much anything I want. It's a variety channel, so tune into that if that's something you're interested in. It's been a pleasure having you here. Until next time.